Okay, Stihl 661. The clutch out of it here, just reassembling the saw. So we'll go through some of that. So here's our worm gear. Want to make sure that all the threads are in good condition and that everything's tight on it. These 661s actually have a retaining clip on the crankshaft inside there. Anyway, this mounts just like that. Actually, one thing while we got it apart, I'd really suggest that you apply your chain brake. That kind of tightens this band up, and then go around that with a screwdriver on the inside. It's amazing how much debris builds up in there, and that can actually cause the brake to stay slightly engaged against the clutch drum. So just clean that thing out. Okay, so we release that. This washer goes in so that the dent or whatever it's pushed out, that actually goes in against the worm gear. What it needs to do, oh sorry, goes this way. It's against the clutch like that, so the recessed side is against that worm gear. If you get it backward, it'll sit out too far, and then you won't be able to get your clip on the outside. Okay, so that's what happens when it's after supper and I'm still in the shop. It's one of those things from working at home. You can work all night. Okay, then the clutch is reverse thread, so to tighten it, you go lefty-tighty. When you're removing it, obviously you go the other way. Want to make sure while it was off that we looked at all our springs and made sure that they're all in decent condition. The hooks quite often are where they were. This one looked like it had been getting left on the hill overnight, so there was quite a bit of rust and stuff like that inside the clutch drum and on this. Oh, okay, wife doing a safety check there. All right, so clutch drum is back in. You can set it if you want, just to ensure that it's not going to come flying off. There's a potential with these, if you were to run it without a clutch cover on there, even just testing or whatever, if you release the throttle, that momentum could end up causing that clutch to come off, so avoid doing that. Look at our clutch drum. It's all cleaned up now. These little clutch bearings quite often get neglected. Still didn't employ the or grease galleries that Husqvarna did on their 390, the equivalent size saw. So these bearings do need to be greased periodically. I do that when I put them back in. I just fill that bearing up with grease and then basically put my finger over the end of it as it goes on, and that way it forces the grease through all of those little roller bearings there. So it's not like you just get a coating on the surface, but they're actually completely coated in it. Okay. look at our sprocket. This one's still in decent enough condition for now. I think the guy that owns this saw stays up on that. Okay, when we put our clutch drum back on, this notch is for that worm gear that we put in before the clutch went in. And if we look through, we can see the tab sticking up for it. Most of these drums have a little mark on them. If yours doesn't, you can always use a paint pen or something like that and just put a mark on there so that it's easy to see, and then stick it in there, and you'll actually hear it as it goes on. It should line up, and then and then you'll hear it go. And when you look at it, you'll see that there's room for your washer and the E-clip to go over that, but we need to put our sprocket on first. There. I'm not a real fan of these washers that Stihl uses. They definitely do a good job of trapping the E-clip in there, but sometimes you have a real bitch of a time getting it off. So when I put the E-clips back on, you'll see they're kind of stamped, and so I put that rounded side down actually, and that way you've got half a chance of getting it out of there. So okay. All right, so yeah, like I was saying, you can kind of see how that's got room there to have that E-clip come down on it. Okay, and then the like I said there, we make sure that the rounded side on that thing is down. Ouch, like a steel there. With these, even with the 3/4 wrap on them, you can still get your scrunch over it. I just use that so that as you squeeze it on there, it's trapped. If it doesn't go on, it's still contained inside the scrunch, so it's not going to go shooting across the shop or into the dirt if you're working on the tailgate of the truck or on a stump or whatever. Anyway, so yeah, so there we go. That spins free. If everything's done right, it will spin free. If it doesn't, and it's locked up against with the crankshaft and the flywheel wants to turn with it, then you know that you've got that washer on wrong or something else. Okay, thanks for tuning in. Like and subscribe would be appreciated. Okay, thanks. Any comments, let me know.